Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is me Parker and today I'll be doing a 1.51 tanks that have been confirmed. I will be doing them in individual videos so you don't have to go through the entire video trying to find the specific thing you want, because there's always that one tank that you want to know about. First off, I'll be doing the Neubaufahrzeug, which of course the Gaijin has incorrectly spelt, so you should get rid of the E, the fourth letter. But otherwise it's all fine. War Thunder has actually announced multiple 1.51 tanks, so as I mentioned earlier, I should be doing this in order, but whatever. These are like I said, the Neubaufahrzeug, however you pronounce it, the T10M, the Super Hellcat, the Leopard 1, the SU-100Y, and the D34-100, which is a T-34 mounting a 100mm gun, if you haven't guessed already. This is all I know at this point. However, there is undoubtedly going to be, more tanks, because this isn't much. I wouldn't be surprised if this is all there is, but you never know. They'll probably come out with something more. I hope so anyway. I hope they come out with like 3 or 4 more. So I really want the British Street to come out, but anyway, that's for another day. I'm just going to call it the Großtraktor. To be totally honest though, I'm actually not that interested into this tank. It honestly looks like someone just decided to throw Panzer 1, 2 and 3 and 4 pieces together and see what happened. And it looks weird, but it looks awesome at the same time. It just looks so German, if you know what I mean. It looks so thing. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, it had pretty decent armament, shitty armor, and I don't know how much it weighed, but I'm pretty sure it was not that much. Anyway, we'll probably get into the development and its weapons and armor and all that, and then I'll get onto how I think it'll fit into War Thunder. The Neubaufahrzeug was primarily designed as a prototype to create a heavy tank with the codename Großtraktor. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm just going to go Großtraktor. That was being used as its true design was. It was not allowed under the Treaty of Versailles, because Germany was still under the Treaty of Versailles, and unfortunately they were not allowed to build any tanks or armoured vehicles. I think they were allowed some armoured cars, I can't remember, but tanks with big guns, nah, they weren't allowed. So Großtraktor means heavy tractor in German, I believe, and they used that name. They actually got the designs of the Vickers A1E1 Independent because a British spy was serving for the Germans, I think. I can't remember. It was a German spy. So the Germans got arrested, blah blah, etc. Don't know much. Anyway, it went ahead with Krupp and Rheinmetall. There was the Großtraktor 1, 2 and 3, which looked nothing like the thing you're going to see in-game. And this is the Mark 5 and Mark 6, I believe. I can't remember. But there are a few differences between the vehicles, such as, for example, Actually, there are no differences, apart from... I can't remember, but I think Rheinmetall used a spring suspension system, I can't remember. And the Krupp variant had the 37mm gun mounted alongside the 75mm on the left, I believe, whereas the Krupp had the Rheinmetall had it above the 75mm gun. I don't know how that would have worked, because you had to go above the gun breech to load the gun, so I think that's a pretty stupid design flaw, I would think. And it actually had 2 small turrets, one in the front right and one on the back left, with a single 7.92mm machine gun in each. It was actually a modified Panzer 1 turret. I think I just mentioned that. Anyway, I suppose it would have been pretty good in city assaults, maybe with more armour, because, did you know, that it had 15 to 20mm frontally? Not sure exactly how much. I think it was actually 14mm of armour had at the front glacis, however you pronounce it. And that would have been absolutely terrible. To be fair though, the machine gun in the front would have been pretty shit. It was a turret, so you had to actually aim the turret at the person. Whereas if it was in a ball mount, you had a swivel so you can easily get it on. But a turret's a completely different story, unless it was a swivel mount inside the turret itself, and then just move the turret around. That's probably what it was. But anyway, it was a it was a failure, to be honest. In 1936, all development was cancelled because they had to get on with the Panzer IV, which didn't really have that much better armour. Had 50mm at the front in the Mark A, I think. In the Mark II, the Mark B, I think it had something like 30, or that was a Mark C, I can't remember. But anyway, the armour was nowhere near as... It was nothing better than a Panzer IV, despite being a heavy tank, the Großtraktor. It did still see service, however, in 1940. One got trapped in bog and had to be blown up. But no one actually knows what happened to them after Norway, but it is believed they got scrapped. I don't know if they got captured or Germany scrapped it, but that is the most likely explanation. There is actually evidence as well that 2 prototypes saw service in Ukraine and Romania, which is quite interesting, because the Panzer IV, it was rubbish. It was rubbish at this time. Later on, it was an amazing tank with the long 75, but at the start, it was not the best tank in the world. Neither was the Panzer III. But anyway, how will it fit in game? What is the battle rating? Right. Battle rating. I think it will fit in nicely at 1.3. Now, hear me out. 1.3, because both of its main guns are absolutely useless at anything above that. If it goes into 1.7, it'll be facing against a T50, which everyone will be raging about. T50 is not overpowered, like everyone thinks. It's just incredibly heavily armoured for its tier. Very, very fast. A very good gun. Very good everything. So yeah, it's not over-tiered at all. Under-tiered even. I don't know. Anyway, it'll fit in nicely at 1.3. This gun it'll be good for taking on tanks of its tier. It won't have the range because it's a short-barreled weapon like a howitzer, so it won't actually have a ranged combat role. It'll be nice in close combat along with a 37mm. So if the 75 doesn't actually kill it, which it should do because it's a 75mm against tanks that are very, very small with very, very little amount of armour, the 37 can easily take them on, most likely, because it has a high penetration rule. The 37 can engage targets at about medium ranges because it has a high velocity, because it's longer in comparison to its diameter to the 75. Because, don't know if you know, if you don't know by now, then I'll let you know. It has calibers of 45. Basically, it is 45 times longer than the diameter. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct. So basically, I don't know how to explain this actually. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, folks, that's about right. I know, I don't know. But yeah, it's a much longer barrel in comparison to its bore than the 75mm does. So it has a high velocity and a higher penetration. So 75 for close range and 37 for long range, for medium range even. But other than that, I think it will do pretty well, to be honest. It has both good guns for its tier. In city combat, it will do absolutely amazingly, apart from if you get shot first, obviously you're going to die or be very heavily injured because of your very light armour. The 2 machine guns aren't really going to do anything. If there was infantry in a game, the machine guns would be absolutely amazing, but there is no infantry. If it was in something like, Heroes and Generals, it would be awesome. Obviously, not much because of its armour, because, the PTRS 41? That'll get through. But yeah, this is War Thunder, there's no infantry. The machine guns are useless, except if you shoot at biplanes, which most likely won't do anything, but you never know. It's a biplane, it's made of wood and paper, essentially. But anyway, I've been rambling on enough as it is. I hope you had a nice insight to what's coming next. Not entirely sure what tank I'll be doing next. It'll probably be the T10M. I think that's a 1956 tank, if I have to be honest. Guys, it isn't really sticking with their stuff. The T10 regular, that's 1953, so that'll be a good end. The T10M, that is about 1956, 1957. I can't remember for the life of me. But if that's coming in, and the Leopard 1's coming in, that means a Centurion 5.2 and a Centurion 7.1 should be coming in as well. And that's got the 105mm gun, which is superior to the 122mm gun of the T10M and IS series. because of its penetration and its range combat. The gun of the Leopard 1 should go through the T10M like paper, because that is what the 105mm was for. It was designed to take on Cold War Soviet tanks, specifically the T-54 and T-55, because of the panic that the West went through, knowing how superior their armour was to theirs. Not so much superior, but so much far more advanced than they thought it was. But anyway, been on long enough. The Großtraktor, or Neubaufahrzeug. Oh, I'll try to pronounce it later on. Anyway, folks, have a good time. Parker out.